we've spoken about Bukayo Saka many occasions. I've done it on my solo streams. I've done it with yourself. I've done it with many people. I've watched streams talking about Bukayo Saka. I'm going to try. I was thinking how I'm going to do this because I want to speak about this for a while. Great piece by Tom Canton in Football.London yesterday about Bukayo Saka. I'm going to read the tweet that you put out, G, actually, but I'm going to get your response after my little monologue if I can find it. Oh, God, where's it gone now? Let me make something very clear, people. And I'm speaking for myself specifically when I say this. I'm all for banter. I'm a grown-ass man of 42 years of age. I've been there, done it, I've seen it. I've been on this platform now in terms of the YouTube side of it. Will be 4 years this June. But I have to say this, and I don't care if people think I'm being oversensitive or it's not a big deal. I don't care. Because I don't sit and talk out the side of my mouth for no reason. And some of the stuff I've seen with Bukayo Saka recently, whether it be on and off the pitch, or I can take banter. I can have a laugh with people. What I see aimed at him, if I'm going to be brutally honest, it's not funny.
No.
It's personal. If I'm going to be honest, looking at it from an observer, people want to say we're biased, myself and G, or the Arsenal fans watch it in the chat. That's not the point. Obviously, you want your players to do well at your club. Yeah. Whether they come through the academy, or you buy someone from Serie A, or Ligue 1, or La Liga, you want them to do well. But I don't get this.
No.
And the way I look at it, I think he just broke into the team probably before I started my own channel. So we're talking, what, 4+ years now. I'm off top of my head when Emery gave me a chance. I've never seen a footballer, G, and I'd have to go back and think a long time, who gets the level of scrutiny he gets just for being good at your job. It's incredible. You're looking at a guy that's gone through. I'd never forgive Southgate for making him take the 5th penalty anyway, to be honest, but that's just my own personal opinion. He misses a penalty, obviously himself, Sancho and Rashford, but I'm talking about Bukayo Saka specifically. You go through that, missing a big moment in a big football match, and you become the target of personal racist abuse. Even fast forward to the big penalty last season against West Ham. He's been England player 2 years in a row. I looked at his appearances this season: 40 appearances, 18 goals, 13 assists. I think only Harry Kane has got more goal contributions than him in the Champions League. I think he's got 8, along with the likes of Phil Foden. You've got people like Mbappe, Griezmann on that list. There's more world-class footballers if you want to go down that route. I don't understand what this is really about. I can be honest and say what I really think it's about. And G, I'm going to come to the tweet you put out, and I'm going to come to you because I'm going to come back and say a bit more. But you put out a tweet 2 days ago, right? This was I think the following morning after the game. I'm sure it was. Was it after the game? Yeah. The Saka abuse at every given opportunity with regards to what he does on and off the pitch is disgusting at this point. Whether it originates from a place of racism or jealousy, is unacceptable and needs to be called out. It's beyond banter at this point. Saka deserves better. And before I bring you in, G, I'm going to say this. I don't care if people unsubscribe. I couldn't give a toss. And I feel that strongly about it. G, as 2 brothers, and people know what I mean by brothers, black guys, black community, whatever you want to phrase it. We need to do better. We need to do better supporting our own.
100%.
And I'm not just talking about sport. I've seen it in certain reality TV shows. Even to pick up the phone and vote for us. We have to do better. This isn't banter. Yes, people can turn around and say, oh, it's because he plays for Arsenal. That's not good enough for the level of scrutiny this guy's getting at the age of 22 years of age. I don't get this. he's compared to every other footballer, not even in his position.
Yep.
Foden, Elise, Cole Palmer. All these players are better than him. He's got to play Champions League football. I mean, even when I'm going to bring you in just after this, and I said this before, and it's nothing new. His performance in that quarterfinal in the World Cup against Hernandez, he cooked him on the biggest stage. And I saw that podcast with Joel Bear and Scott Howson and Rio Ferdinand. And Rio Ferdinand said to the camera guy who asked the question, but did England win the game? You're an ex-professional footballer. And you come out and say that as a mitigating circumstances to say what? That Saka didn't have a good game or he didn't perform at a world-class level. This is absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
And it needs to be called out because I'm tired of it. What's this guy done wrong? Other than play football, play it well, and wear an Arsenal shirt and an England shirt. It needs to be called out. I'm sorry. I'm tired of some of these grown men of my persuasion. You want to kick a man. What? What is it? It's not banter. It's not funny. What is this? What has he done wrong? He scores a brilliant goal in the knockout stage of a Champions League quarterfinal, and now he's a cheat and a diver.
Yep.
Go and watch that. Go and watch it another 100 times if you want to. Look at Manuel Neuer's right leg. And then come back and tell me he dived. Unbelievable. G, let me bring you in, man. Tell me why you thought they need to send that tweet.
You know what it is, yeah? It's like I've watched, I'm on the verge of being 40 years of age this year, and I've watched football like my entire life. And there's been very few players that I can say have been as consistent as Saka's been since they broke into, a team's first team. From the age of 17, to now, season on season, he's got better and better and better. And every time they move the goalpost or move the criteria box, he takes it. Like I say, can he do it again next season? Done it. Can he do it for England? Two Players of the Year awards. Can he do it in the Champions League? Does it? There's always something. Even the way he, I see people ridiculing him for, his marketing opportunities off the pitch. So he goes about his business. He does these charitable events, and I see people, ridiculing him, saying it's not genuine. Then he gets his Nando sauce, and then they just make all these kind of derogatory terms and banter about it. And when I realized it got to the point of what are we actually doing?
Yeah,
is you said something there. Obviously, not to single out anybody in particular, but you said something about people of our persuasion. We're talking about race here, and there. I don't know him. I don't personally. I've never met him, and so forth. And I've seen it a few times. Not just this person in particular. I won't mention any names, but I've seen a number of black men sharing, and making fun of Saka when they've shared that image of Saka where his face has been merged with a gorilla, and I've seen them share it. And this one particular person shared it in a group chat that I was in, and I called the person out on it, and I said, how can you share that? It's wrong for somebody who obviously it's completely out of order for somebody who isn't black or from the BME community to share that. But as a black man, how are you sharing a picture ridiculing the way and comparing the way Saka looks to that of a gorilla? How are you sharing that, and how are you finding that funny? How do you find that banter? I just for me it was beyond belief. And I think it was at that point I realized that this Saka abuse had kind of gone to a next level. In that, regardless of what he does, I genuinely can't remember a more humble, well-rounded, grounded individual at his age.
Yeah.
This boy is, you know, if they had something to write about this lad, they would in the media. The media can't write nothing about him. He's not a womanizer. He's not a woman beater. He don't go to parties. He's not seen getting drunk out of clubs.
Yeah.
You know, there's literally nothing you can write about this kid other than what you said. He's good at football, and he plays his game. And for some reason, people just hate him. And it's like and what it is, it's constant. Even when I go on X a lot, and I'm telling you, even when Saka's not playing, he's trending.
Yeah.
Every day, Saka is trending. And when you actually click on the name and you see what is being written, it's all, the vast majority of it is derogatory.
Yeah.
The vast majority of it, you know? And it's just horrible. It's horrible. And it got to the point where I just thought to myself, you know what? Like, I just saw Saka score a phenomenal goal. Everybody talks about, oh, he freezes, you know, he doesn't turn up. Go and look at his record in the big 6 games. Go and look at them. He turns up in the big games.
Yeah.
And all you get is, oh, he disappears, he disappears, he disappears. He scores an absolutely phenomenal goal. And then all of a sudden, like you say, he's a cheat, he's a diver, he's this, he's a disgrace. And I literally, the reason why I sent that tweet the next morning is because I spent the entire evening and the morning on the timeline, and I just saw abuse after abuse after abuse, ridicule after ridicule after ridicule. And I just thought to myself, like, this boy should be a national treasure.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, this boy should be a national treasure. He is literally the epitome of what you want, both on the pitch and off the pitch. I've gone on record as a saying, I don't even believe Saka is as technically gifted and talented as some of the other footballers in his generation, before him or even after him. But what Saka does is, Saka is the perfect example of hard work, hard graft, consistency. He's the model professional. He's humble. You know, he's hardworking. He's charitable. He's well spoken. I genuinely don't understand. For me, he is the most likable person. And you know what? I speak to people that are not Arsenal fans, and not even into football, and they know Saka, and they're like, I don't get it. I don't know why he gets the abuse he does. And that's why I put on my tweet, I don't know whether it comes from a place of racism. I don't know whether it comes from a place. It's either, a lot of it is there is a racial element to it with some fans. They will never admit 100%. It. There is.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to the AJ thing with Saka. For a lot of the others, it's just jealousy. It's jealousy. And I don't quite understand it, because I'm a massive fan of Phil Foden. I'm a massive fan of Cole Palmer. I rate Cole Palmer. When Cole Palmer was leaving Man City, I wanted Arsenal to sign him. I'm a massive fan of him. I'm a massive fan of both of them. Like, for me, I appreciate them as ballers. At no point, like, this is what really annoys me, is at no point, when Saka plays and Saka does well, I'm not even thinking about them. I'm just thinking about, this is Saka, this is our star boy, and he's doing well. But you've got fans out there, as soon as Cole Palmer does well, Saka can't do that. Foden does well, Saka can't do that. Like, genuinely, I don't get it. And that's why,
Angie, let me come in quickly.
I just felt compelled to write that tweet, because that tweet came off the back of not just that game against Bayern. That tweet came off the back of years of just an onslaught from social media.
Let me make it clear, just to follow on from what G's saying. I don't want to hear no crap about, oh, it's, you know, Arsenal fans getting rattled, and it's nothing to do with that. I'm a grown G is, like you said, he's almost 40. I'm 42. It's not about that. I'm not going to talk about, be disingenuous to talk about something like this and put it down to the fact that, oh, he just plays for Arsenal.
No,
it's not acceptable. Let me give you an example, because we're not United fans. Marcus Rashford socially has done some incredible things. for children, basically putting food in their mouths, putting politicians in this country to shame. And yet they use words matter. That's my point. For those who, from my persuasion or maybe not, whatever, words matter. People jump on it. Then you get the elements of, as you mentioned, the jealousy and the racism. Marcus Rashford done some amazing things. Politicians have tried to use certain words to discredit this guy. And I'm not even going to get into the media side of it. Because basically what they was insinuating is, if you're going to be the war hero and you've got all this money, you feed them. You buy them the houses. Because that is what they were saying. It's an absolute disgrace. And he's a Manchester United player, by the way, people. But I support my people because I got mad love for Rashford.
Mad love for Rashford.
So I don't want to hear none of this crap about Arsenal fans are rattled in the comments. It's not about rattling.
No,
it's about your almost. I'll use the word persecution if you want to call it that. And I'll use even a better phrase. It's becoming commonplace to think it's okay to talk about this guy and discredit him the way they do. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful, and it should not be happening. End of story.
Facts. It's being normalized.
And that's what great point, great word. Honestly. So I knew I wanted to talk about this because I had a private conversation with Tom. G was coming, knew he was going to talk about it. Because, like I said, we love the beautiful game as such. But I cannot sit here, whether I've got 300,000 subscribers or 1.3 or 200 or 20, I have to open my mouth and say something about this because I don't like what I'm seeing.
It's enough now.
Do better. And when I say do better, even more so when I shout that, our own community, this, do better. It's not funny. The man has been exceptional in his young career so far. Let the man play football without being ridiculed because you support a different team. It's total bollocks. Grow up. Men our age on the platform. Saying stuff. What are we doing here? And that you're going to be sitting there talking about fines and UEFA don't do this and do that. Keep your mouth shut if you're not going to say something productive or get behind one of your own, irrespective of your club's colours. And I'm not going to say any more about it. So people, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, G's part of the Armory TV. The channel link is in the title, highlighted in blue. So multitask can do both.